Greetings. Welcome to the Rise Up Mama podcast. My name's Vanessa and I'm a lifestyle coach for mums. And I help busy women, especially mums, to improve and maintain your health and wellness through positive mindset development, nutrition and fitness coaching. Now, I run my coaching services part-time, and the rest of my time I'm working for someone else. I'm not going to say in a job that I hate, because I work as a project manager in managing research projects, and I organise events. So I actually do enjoy my job, but ultimately I want to make an impact in the world. And depending on when you're listening to this, if you're listening to this in 2021 when I'm recording it, then you'll definitely appreciate that the world needs healing on so many different levels. So if you've come to this podcast already, you'll notice that I've got some interviews on here, which is fantastic. I do a live event at the end of the month, and that's great. But I was listening to one of my mentors, I think it was a few days ago, and he basically said that, if you're wanting to make a difference, you've got to do more content. And he gave us some options of different things that we could do. You could do writing, you could do an audio blog like this, you could do Facebook Lives. And to be quite honest with you, I'm actually comfortable with all of those mediums. The difficulty that I have is I'm a busy mum and I'm a grandmother as well. So realistically, when I've tried to keep up with Facebook Lives, I can go so far in terms of being consistent, and then something happens, either the house is a mess, or, my hair's not right, or, just something, it's just so complicated. And writing, I love to write. So as you go through this audio series with me, I'm going to tell you about the blog posts that I write, but I'm just not consistent in writing. So I thought, okay, I would be more comfortable with the audio, because people are only hearing my voice. I don't have to basically get other things ready in the background, and it's all about time and compressing time. So this is where we are, and this is why I'm doing an audio podcast. So I just want to rewind a little bit and give you an explanation as to why I'm doing this audio. I don't know if you're familiar with the book called The 10X Rule, which is written by a businessman called Grant Cardone. It's an absolutely fantastic book. And fundamentally, the 10X rule is helping you to play a bigger game wherever you are in your life. So it doesn't have to be if you're in business. It's just literally, whatever you're wanting to do, you have to 10X it. Now, I've been doing some updates today on my website, putting some testimonials together, and I've got some fantastic testimonials. I've been working part-time, doing my coaching for just over 5 years. In fact, it's coming up to 6 years. It'll be 6 years in March. And I'm really disappointed with myself, to be quite honest with you, because I haven't really stepped up. I've had times where I've been building momentum and then something happens. And ultimately, I feel because I have my main employment, I've never been in a situation where it's a kind of do or die with my coaching services. But ultimately, the vision that I've got in my head and the reality that I'm living through is just a mismatch. Now, I did an event on Thursday, which is my Global Health and Wellbeing Cafe, and the guest speaker was actually talking about words and how words impact on our emotions. And you can find an interview with my guest speaker, Victoria, in this podcast series. And what was interesting is I'd actually changed the format of my presentation, and I'd put a vision in the presentation where I was actually explaining that, my vision is to have an impact in the world, and I'm looking to work with over 1,000 women. And obviously I read out the slide, I've looked at the picture and everything, and I've really had to reflect over the last few days and thought, why is it that I'm just, I say these things, but what is it that's really holding me back? And the word that I want to talk to you about is consistency. And Victoria herself gave us a little exercise that we could do, which was really looking at what did we want to achieve and how we were going to score that. And I put down the word consistency. So this is where it comes back to the podcast that I'm doing, because the challenge that I have been set by my online mentor is to choose a media that I'm comfortable with and produce every single day for a whole year. Okay, so the podcast is being recorded at the end of February 2021, and the first episode will go out onto my podcast channel on the 1st of March. And the idea that I'm thinking is, if I can record some of the episodes in advance and just get ahead of myself, then I'll be able to basically reach and exceed my goal. Now, one of the things that I spoke about in the session that I did on Thursday was about the power of accountability. And accountability is so powerful. I'm not going to go through all of the points here because you may have already listened to that session, and obviously I want to be providing you with fresh content. But one thing that I do know about accountability is now I am putting myself in the public domain, if you like. Whoever's listening to this, I don't have many subscribers to the podcast at the moment, which is not a problem. If you are listening to this in 2021, then more likely you know me personally. So I just want to say thank you to you for tuning into this episode, because you're holding me accountable. And, I've looked back on all the things that I've done, and like I said, and one of the things that I really do need to focus on is consistency, because the scenario that I'm going to present to you now, or its a little equation, is A plus C equals R. Now, A is for action and C is for consistency. Mix those two things together and you will get the results. So as we go through, or as you, hopefully you're going to tune in again to my journey that I'm on here, you'll see that I get results when I really do focus on the action and the consistency. Of course, I've had results over the last 6 years working as a lifestyle coach, and what I've been doing is helping other people to get results as well. But fundamentally, if I want to grow my own brand, I need to be more consistent, because the clients that I'm working with, they're mainly local to me in my hometown. Obviously, I'm working a lot more on the internet so I can reach more people. But, it's not made the impact in terms of, yes, I've touched people's lives and that's great. And like I said, I've done my testimonial page today. But when I think about my vision and what I really, really want to do, it's so many people's lives that I'm wanting to reach out to. And how are they going to discover me unless I actually show up consistently and let them know that I'm here? So again, if you're listening to this, more likely you do actually know me already, which is fantastic. But I want to reach out to people that are strangers to me right now as well. So thank you for tuning in. So what I'm going to say is, this is just the first audio. I've had to put something out just to literally get myself off the starting block. I've started my day as I would normally, whereby I've done my journaling, I've been for a walk, I've done some other updates on my website, I've taken in some personal development, I've listened into marketing training, I'm working through my list. But I could find myself when it said record audio, it was something that I've looked at and thought, oh gosh, I've got to do it, I've got to do it. So this is just me coming out off the starting block. So I do appreciate you tuning in and listening. So the podcast audios, so this is like my monologue, I suppose. It's going to be about my journey, and I'm going to be honest with you, because reflection is the only way that you're going to see difference in your life. You have to be willing to reflect to be able to move forward. So it's not about looking backwards, because you want to have a clear vision in your life that pulls you into the future. But what I find, even with myself, is when I'm stuck, I need to reflect. And it's really interesting when I do reflect, then I see the success, but I also see the areas of procrastination, the areas where I've lost my focus, the areas where I haven't paid attention to even small details that could have made the big difference. So that's it for today. It's just really, I'm doing this. It's going to be every day. There's going to be an audio. And yeah, I've done it. So the first one's out of the way. And maybe for yourself, you could think about something that you've been putting off. What is it that you know that you need to get done? And for whatever reason, it's slipping down. But again, if you was to just make that decision, and what I find as well is when you make a decision and you act on it immediately, it's actually, you've got more chances of success. I feel that the only reason why I'm actually doing this recording now is because I'm listening to my online mentor again, and he's mentioned this task, and I thought, yes, it's on my list, I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do it now. So yeah, think of something that you're putting off, and just have a think about how you could literally take immediate action. If you wanted to leave a comment underneath this podcast to let me know what you're working on and how you've taken immediate action, I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, tune in for tomorrow. I've got no idea what I'll be talking about, but the idea is for me to show up consistently every day. So much love to you for listening to me. I hope that you are feeling fantastic and wonderful wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to connecting with you soon. Take care. Bye.